Senator Welch. Senator Cornyn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bejar, for being here and your courage and your testimony. You know, I think we've met the enemy, and the enemy is us. We actually have 6 bills that Senator Durbin referred to that were voted out of the Judiciary Committee. But in the Senate, the only person who can actually schedule those bills for vote is the majority leader, Senator Schumer. And so I would suggest that we focus our attention on trying to get Senator Schumer to schedule a vote on those 6 pieces of legislation. That would be a good start. But we can talk about it, but without that happening, nothing is going to happen in the Senate. So one wise person said one time, when trying to figure out a complex topic like this, follow the money. You've mentioned a number of times the data. Do social media applications like Instagram and Facebook collect huge volumes of data about the users?
They do.
And that data is then used mainly for advertising products. For example, it's amazing to me when I go to a website and I look at something, let's say a piece of hunting gear, next thing I know, on my Instagram, an advertisement from that same company shows up. And the way that happens is that Instagram, Facebook, X, or formerly known as Twitter, sells that data to companies who then use that information to promote their products. Isn't that correct?
I'm not an expert in that domain.
Well, that's how they make money, right?
They make money through advertising.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked to read an article here in the MIT Technology Review, which talks about it's shockingly easy to buy sensitive data about U.S. military personnel. Duke University did a study at the request of West Point and others and determined for as little as 12 cents per record that data brokers would sell sensitive information on U.S. military members and veterans. Would that surprise you?
Again, this is not an area where I have any expertise. I mean, I have expertise from the perspective of being a security professional and ensuring that the systems do what they're said to do, but I don't have expertise on how the data gets brokered.
Well, I think it's pretty much common knowledge that that's the case, that this data accumulated by social media companies is then sold. And that's the reason why when you go on Instagram or Facebook, you don't actually have to pay a subscription or a fee. And they've talked about if they couldn't recover that revenue from selling that data about me, Chairman Blumenthal, the ranking member Hawley and others, or your daughter, then they would have to charge a fee in order to make this economical. But they don't do that because they can sell your data. And as shocking as what you have discovered and you shared with us today about this one social media company, the truth is this is not unique to Instagram or Facebook, correct?
Correct. It's the entire social media sector that serves teens.
And here in the Congress, we've talked a lot about our concern about China's increasing belligerency and militancy and buildup of not only its economy, but its military, and threatening peace in Asia and elsewhere. But we also have talked a lot about apps like TikTok, for example, that are Chinese applications that then do much as Instagram does and vacuum up all this data, addict our children to by using the algorithms or codes to figure out what to recommend to them. And again, this is all about the data and all about the money. And of course, Senator Durbin mentioned the use of social media applications when it comes to selling drugs. You know, fentanyl, synthetic opioid, is the single leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds in America today. And much of it is transacted, those sales and promotions, through the use of social media. And then there's other scary things like deepfakes. Do you know what a deepfake is?
I do.
What is it?
And it is when you use technology to create an image that appears to be a person, but it's not an actual video or photograph of that person.
And I've read in the last couple of days that deep fakes are now being used to basically portray young girls for sexual gratification using these deep fake false images due to this incredible technology, which, as Senator Kennedy pointed out, can be used for a lot of good, but can be also used for ill as well. I know our time is short here today. I just want to thank you for answering some of these questions. We have a lot of work to do here in the Senate and in the Congress, and as parents and grandparents, and to try to protect our children. I'm just, thank goodness my daughters are adults now, and they don't live in the, they aren't of an age of Senator Hawley's kids or others. But the first thing we need to do, Mr. Chairman, is ask the one person who can actually schedule a floor vote on some of the bills that passed unanimously out of the Senate Judiciary Committee to schedule a vote. We could do that next week, but he's got to make it happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Cornyn. I can't speak for Senator Schumer, but I know he is vitally interested in reform in this area, and I'm sure that he will make that interest real on the floor of the Senate at the right time. Senator Butler.